is that mobile will continue to dominate your life, okay? And what I mean by that is that more supporters will be visiting your website through their smartphone and through their Android or whatever smartphone device they're using. They're going to be visiting your website. You can use Google Analytics to track how many people are coming from mobile. You can even drill down into the specific devices that people are using. But if you look at the past 3 years of data in Google Analytics, you'll definitely see a massive increase in the number of visitors to your website who are arriving from a smartphone. All right. Also, potential donors will want to give on their smartphones. So if you're doing a fundraising campaign in 2015 and you have a fundraising page, lots of people are going to be looking at that on a mobile device. So you really have to think about your fundraising platform, how that's looking on a mobile device. Okay. People will also delete emails. So email also has to be mobile. People will basically delete an email on their mobile device if they can't view the email, right? So in terms of next steps, measure mobile traffic, at least be aware of it, how prevalent it is on your website, what % of your visitors are coming from mobile. Make your website responsive. This is something hopefully that most of you have already been working on, making your website look beautiful on a mobile device and be easy to see, and people don't have to pinch the screen in order to zoom in on the text or images or anything like that. And then finally, make email messages responsive. There's some research by Litmus, and they found that basically if people can't read an email, 80% of them will just delete it.
Nonprofit organizations are carefully regulated by the state and federal government. Before starting your nonprofit, there are 5 key items that we advise you get clear on beforehand. Item number 1, what is your nonprofit's purpose? In addition to having your purpose that falls into one of the identified categories for tax-exempt status, you also must show that your activities are furthering your purpose. So when applying to the state and the IRS for tax-exempt status, they will ask you to provide a detailed description of what those activities are. Item number 3, what are your fundraising activities? From a practical standpoint, it's wise to know how you'll be bringing in funds to support your activities. And both the state and the IRS, when you're applying for tax-exempt status, they will ask you for a detailed description of your fundraising activities. And they will ask you to identify the different categories of activities, such as mailed solicitations, personal solicitations, applying for grants, membership fees, etc. Item number 4, what expenses are you anticipating? It is always prudent practice before starting out to be clear on what expenses you will expect to incur in the operation of your nonprofit and make sure that those expenses will be covered. Also, when applying for your tax-exempt status, both the state and the IRS will ask you to fill out a financial data sheet that show your revenue and expenses. So you will want to know that beforehand. Item number 5, who will be your officers and directors? For nonprofit